Hello guys, this is the Crafty Bee and I'm back again with another interesting tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to make an abaya gown with a long cape at the back, and also there's a rhinestone design in front and also at the edges of the sleeves. And this abaya, you need a stretchy fabric. You see how it stretch? And it's going to be beginners friendly, and it's very simple and easy to make. So if this is the style you really want to learn how to make, please stay tuned to the end of this video. So if this is the first time tuning into this channel, please do well by hitting on the red subscribe button. Turn on your bell notification so you will be the first to be notified whenever I drop a new video. So because this abaya is a long gown, so I decided to illustrate with a paper for you, because when I fold it on the table, it's so big that the camera cannot capture every bit of it. So the best thing is for me to explain on a paper, a pattern paper, for you to understand it. The same way I'm going to cut it on the fabric is the same way I'm going to illustrate it here, so that it will be easy for you to follow. And also, this is the rhinestone I'm going to be using. You see, I want a different pattern design, but I searched on it online, I couldn't get it. This is the only pattern design I got, so I will be illustrating it with these stones. So if it's not enough, I'll be completing it later. The most important thing for you is to know how to cut this Bubu Abaya cape dress. Not even the stoning. The stoning is very easy to stone, but for you to understand how to cut it. So let's go right into the video. I'm going to be using this pattern paper for the illustration so that you understand how I'm going to cut it on the fabric. So I'm using 3.5 yards, a little bit more than 3.5, because I want it a bit longer. So let's assume this paper is 3.5. This is the yards, 3.5 folded into 2 by 60 inches. So the next thing to do is, after folding it on the yardage like this, you will then fold it like this. You turn it and fold it. So this part is going to be your shoulder line. So the next thing to do now is just to mark the neckline. So I'll be taking 3.5 inches for the neck width, and then 3 inches for the neck depth. That's for the front side. So for the back, I'm going to be taking 3.5 inches for the neck width, and then 2 inches for the depth. So the first thing to do is to cut the back neckline first, which is 3.5 by 3 inches. So the next thing I'll do is to open it back. Let me trim the down part straight. So I open it, you see how it looks? I'll open it back like this. I fold it back to cut the front neckline. So you see that? This is the front neckline and this is the back neckline. So I'm going to fold it back again. So guys, what I'm going to do now is to bring the front neckline here. So this is the front part of the abaya. This is the front and this is the back. The back is going to be the cape. And then the front is where you should pay attention well. So I'm going to draw the line on the shoulder line for you to get this illustration well. So this is the shoulder line. I mark the shoulder line. So the next thing to do is to shape the front part of this dress. And by shaping the front part, you are going to divide all your circumferences by 2, not by 4, by 2, because the front part of this gown is going to wrap around your body. So this front part is where you are going to shape. You leave the back like so, because the back is going to be the cape. So let's assume I'm using 10 inches for the chest line, but because this paper is small, let me just mark this as the chest line, and then this as the waistline, and then we come to the hip line, and then this is the length. So let me draw a line for you to understand. From the shoulder line, you come down by 10 inches. 10 inches. But if you want your sleeve opening to be a bit big, you come down by 10.5. But 10 inches is okay, standard. And then from the shoulder to the waistline is 17 inches. And then from the shoulder line to the hip line is 26 inches. This is the chest line. This is the waistline. This is the hip line. And finally, the hemline. So you are going to divide the chest by 2, the waist circumference by 2, and then the hip circumference by 2. And whatever you get on the hip line, you extend it to the hemline. The chest line is where you are going to place your bust line. My bust measurement is 42 inches divided by 2. You are dividing every measurement here by 2. So it will be 21 inches. So let me say this is 21. And then the waistline is 39 divided by 2 is 19.5. Let's assume this is the waistline. And then the hip is 43 inches divided by 2 is 21.5. So we just take this for the hip line. And whatever you get on the hip line, you go straight down and mark it on the hemline. And then you connect from the chest line to the waistline, to the hip line, and then to the hemline. But you don't leave this place pointed. So this part is going to be the sleeve. From here is the sleeve, and then it will continue to the hemline, which is the cape. The cape is at the back. So after you measure your measurement, you add 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So you connect the 1 inch also together. So when you are cutting the dress, you have to cut all this excess out. You cut this excess out. You just cut it on the 1 inch line, and then when you reach this corner, you just curve it a little bit. So this is just simple and nice style to make. And after you cut bias stripe for the neck, and then you conceal the neck, you will lock the neck line. So let me cut it out. So when you want to stitch, you just stitch it all the way down here, and then you open it, iron it, and all this is going to wrap around your body. You see, look, this is the front, this is the main dress that is going to go around. So it's going to go around your body like this. You see, it's going to lock like this, and then here is going to be the cape. So now let's go straight to the fabric and cut it out. So this is what I said about folding it, because it will take a lot of space and it's very long. So this is it. I folded it into 2 on the 3.5 yards, and then I folded it again into 2. So this becomes our shoulder line, as I indicate with the chalk here. On the neck, the front neck is 3.5 by 3. And then the back neckline is 3.5 by 2. So I'll be cutting the neckline, then I'll push it a bit up. All this side is the back with the cape. This is the cape side. This is the back. And I folded it on the wrong side, not on the good side. This is the wrong side of the fabric. So I'll be cutting it out, then I'll shift it a bit towards this side, then I'll shape the front. We're only going to shape the front. This is the front, and then this is the back. The back is the cape. So this is our neckline. You can see it. This is the back neckline. This is the front. So I'm going to be shifting it a bit up so that I can shape the front part. So I'm going to notch the center front, and then I notch the center back so that I know what I'm doing. This fabric is very stretchy, so you have to be careful when you are dealing with stretchy fabric, because cutting of the neck, if you cut it small, it will be a big open neck, but you have to minimize how you cut it. So I tip a little bit of the shoulder like this. So this is the shoulder line, this is the front, this is the back. So I'm going to be shifting it up a bit to shape it. So guys, now you are going to be shaping the gown. And then what I'm going to be doing now is to divide each circumference by 2. The bust circumference by 2, the waist circumference by 2, the hip by 2. Because this front side is going to wrap around your body. So you get a full dress on your body, and then the back will be the cape throwing down the dress. So I'm marking from the shoulder line, this is the shoulder line, to the chest line, I mark 10 inches. And then the shoulder to the waist is 17 inches, I mark. Then from the shoulder to the hip line is 26 inches. So what I'm going to do now is to roll out the lines so that I can impute the measurements. So now I'm dividing my bust measurements by 2, and I'll add half an inch for ease. My bust is 42 inches divided by 2 is 21 inches. And then the waist is 39 divided by 2 is 19.5. I mark 19.5 on the waistline. And then on the hip line, the hip is 43 inches divided by 2 is 21.5. So the hip line is going to be 21.5. So whatever you get on the hip line, you mark it on the hem line. So what I'm going to do now is to connect the lines from the bust to the waist, and then from the waist to the hip line. And then I will extend the line straight to the hem line. I'll use my long ruler to do that. I'm going to add 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Then I'll connect the lines. So guys, this is all. This is how to shape it. So what I'm going to do now is to cut it from here all the way to the bust, and then from the bust it's going to be left open like so. You see, so all this is going to be left open. Hope you understand what I explained. It's very simple and easy to make. So now I'm going to cut it out. So I'll be cutting pieces of stripes to sew the neckline. So this is all for the cutting. So I'm going to pin it down. Then I'll take it to my machine. I'll sew from here all the way on this line to the hem line. So what I'm going to do now is to pin. So this line is going to be at the back. I'll take it to my machine. After stitching it, I will iron it open and then conceal the edges. Because I did it on the wrong side, we are going to turn it, after ironing, we are going to turn it to the good side, and you see. And I'll show you how you are going to wear it. Okay guys, let me do just a come. This is how it looks after stitching it. So this now becomes the center back of the gown. Where the stitch line is the center back of the gown, and then this side is the center front. This is the wrong side of the fabric, so I'm going to turn it to the good side. So this is the front of the gown, and then this is the back. You see it now. This back opening is where you are going to wear it. So the next thing to do is for me to stone it. I don't have a stoning board, I don't have it, so I just have to buy it online. And so far this is what I got. But it's not going to be enough. I'll just iron it just for an illustration for you to see how it looks like. So I'll be placing it on the front side of the gown. you'll find the center line. So there's a line in the center front that I'll follow. I'll follow it to the hemline if the stones will be enough up to the hemline. And then we'll be placing stone on the edges of the bubu. So what I'm thinking, I'll be placing 2 lines on the center front like this. And I'll cut another 2 to join it. And another 2 to iron it to see where it will get to. And then the remaining ones I'll use for the sides. But you can also place rhinestone at the back on all the edges, depending on how you want to design your own. So I'll just use this. This is it. You need helping hand to place it. You see, I open it, and you are going to place the sticky part on your fabric. So I'm going to place the second one. So I want to use 3 pieces for this front part. So before I continue, I'll iron this one. You take a wet cloth or a steam iron, you place it on top and iron it. Let me see if it's still. You see, it never stick well, so you iron it until it stick well on the fabric. So this is how the front side look after stoning it. You see, I'll add more stones later to finish it to the floor. This is the front side. You see how beautiful it look. This is the back, the cape. So I couldn't finish all because I'm short of stones. So I'll be buying to finish it up. And this is the other side of the back. So you see how beautiful it look. Don't mind this, is the steam what? It's the steam when I was ironing the stones. So this is how the cape look like. So if this tutorial has been helpful to you, please don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, share my video, leave comment down below, and see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.